Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's a moment in life when you have to stop pointing fingers, stop blaming, stop making excuses, and just look in the mirror. That's the moment when everything changes. The truth is, the world isn't going to wait for you to get it together. So why should you? Fix yourself. Not because someone else is telling you to, but because you owe it to yourself. The journey of self-improvement starts from within, and the hardest part. That's realizing that no one's coming to save you. You have to do the work. You have to take responsibility. It's not easy, it's not pretty, but it's necessary. Stop expecting a handout, a miracle, or some magic. The solution is and has always been you. I'm going to give you 5 keys to help you get started on fixing yourself. Pay attention, because these are the principles that can take you from where you are to where you deserve to be. You know, one of the hardest things you'll ever do in life is to face the truth. I'm not talking about the kind of truth that's easy to swallow. I'm talking about the truth that stings, the truth that makes you uncomfortable, the truth that makes you question everything about who you are and what you've been doing. That truth. You see, most people run from it. They bury it under distractions. They drown it out with noise. They hide behind excuses and denial because it's easier to live in the fantasy, easier to tell yourself that everything is fine when deep down you know it's not. But you can only run for so long. Sooner or later, that truth is going to catch up to you. And when it does, it hits hard, real hard. But here's the thing. That's where real change begins. You can't fix what you refuse to face. If you're unwilling to confront your flaws, your mistakes, your bad habits, your fears, you're only fooling yourself. And it's not about tearing yourself down or beating yourself up. No, it's about accountability. It's about taking a good, long, hard look at your life and asking yourself, am I being honest? Am I really living up to my potential? Am I holding myself back? Maybe you've been telling yourself you're fine when you're not. Maybe you've been putting on a front, pretending everything is okay while you're falling apart inside. Maybe you've been blaming others for your situation, pointing fingers, saying, it's their fault, not mine. But the truth is, you're where you are because of the choices you've made. That's the truth. And until you're ready to own that, nothing's going to change. Facing the truth means standing in front of that mirror and stripping away all the lies you've been telling yourself. It means admitting where you've fallen short, where you've messed up, where you've allowed fear, laziness, or comfort to keep you from being the person you're meant to be. It's about realizing that you are responsible for your life, nobody else. It's easy to point the finger at the world, at your past, at the people who did you wrong. But at the end of the day, the only person in control of your destiny is you. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from discomfort. It comes from that moment when you stop lying to yourself, when you stop running from the truth and start confronting it head on. You have to own your weaknesses, own your mistakes, and own your failures because they're part of your story. But they're not the end of your story. They're the beginning. When you face the truth, you take back your power. You realize that you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the author of your own life. And that's where the magic happens. That's where transformation begins. When you stop running, when you stop hiding, when you finally face your truth, that's when you can start to rewrite your story on your terms. So ask yourself, are you ready to face your truth? Are you ready to stop pretending, stop avoiding, and start owning your life? Because once you do, once you face that truth, you're going to see something incredible. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. And that's the truth. Motivation is great, right? It feels good. It gets you fired up. It's that burst of energy that makes you want to jump out of bed and chase your dreams. But here's the problem with motivation. It doesn't last. It comes and goes like a breeze. One day you wake up feeling like you can conquer the world, and the next day you're struggling just to get out of bed. That's motivation, unreliable, fleeting. See, when people rely on motivation, they're waiting for that perfect moment, that spark, that feeling, that rush of excitement to push them forward. But life doesn't work like that. There are going to be days when you don't feel like doing anything. Days when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when the weight of your responsibilities feels like too much. And if you're waiting on motivation to get you through those days, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's getting up, showing up, and putting in the work whether you're motivated or not. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, if you're bored, if you're uninspired. Discipline says, get up and do it anyway. The thing is, anyone can put in effort when they feel good, when they're excited, when everything's going their way. That's easy. But the real test of character, that comes when the excitement fades, when the work gets tough, when the results aren't coming as fast as you'd like. Can you still show up then? Can you still do the work when the motivation is gone? That's what discipline asks of you. You see, motivation is like fuel. It's a boost, sure, but it's temporary. It runs out. Discipline, on the other hand, is the engine. It keeps you moving, keeps you grinding, keeps you focused long after the fuel is gone. It's the difference between a person who talks about what they want and the person who goes out and makes it happen day after day. And here's the truth, you're not always going to be inspired. You're not always going to feel like it. Some days, the goal you're working toward will feel a million miles away. But guess what? It's on those days that discipline matters the most. Because while motivation gets you started, discipline is what keeps you going. Discipline is what turns your dreams into reality, one step at a time, one day at a time, even when it feels like you're moving in slow motion. The ones who make it aren't necessarily the most talented, the most motivated, or the most gifted. They're the ones who are disciplined. The ones who keep showing up, keep pushing, keep grinding, even when nobody's watching, even when there's no applause, even when there's no immediate payoff. That's how you win. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for that spark to hit you. Build discipline, train yourself to show up, to do the work, to commit to the process no matter how you feel. Because discipline, not motivation, is what will take you where you want to go. That's the truth. There's a moment in life when you realize not everyone is meant to stay on your journey. It's tough, but it's real. You can't take everybody with you where you're going, and you can't carry everything either. Some things, some people, some habits, they're dead weight. And if you want to rise, you have to let them go. We all have that weight in our lives. It might be that negative friend who always drags you down, that person who never believes in you, always criticizing, always doubting. Or maybe it's a habit, a bad one that you know is holding you back. It could be procrastination, fear, laziness, comfort, but whatever it is, you feel it. You know it's there, and you know it's weighing you down. See, you can't elevate while you're carrying things that were meant to stay behind. You've got to recognize when something or someone is no longer serving your growth. And it's not always personal. Sometimes it's not about them being bad people. It's just that their path isn't aligned with yours anymore. You're trying to elevate and they're stuck in the same place. You're trying to level up, but they keep pulling you back to the same old conversations, the same old habits, the same old mindset. And it hurts. I know. It's hard to let go of people you've known for years, people you thought would be there for the long haul. But not everyone is built for the next chapter of your life. Some people are only meant to be with you for a season. You've got to be willing to accept that. Because if you keep holding on to what's comfortable, what's familiar, you're going to miss out on what's possible. Then there are the habits. That dead weight you carry around in your daily routine. Maybe you're staying up late, wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Maybe you're stuck in your comfort zone, avoiding the hard things, avoiding the necessary things. You know deep down that these habits are keeping you from becoming the person you need to be, but you hold on to them because they're easy. They don't challenge you. But listen, easy won't get you where you need to go. Comfort won't take you to the top. Growth demands sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice is the comfort you've gotten too used to. Cutting the dead weight isn't just about people or habits, it's about your mindset too. Some of you are carrying around old beliefs, old fears, and old doubts that are doing nothing but holding you back. You've convinced yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, that you'll never make it. That's dead weight. And it's time to cut it loose. Because until you do, you're going to stay stuck in the same place, never reaching the potential you know you have inside. You have to be ruthless when it comes to your growth. If it's not helping you, it's hurting you. If it's not pushing you forward, it's pulling you back. You have to be willing to walk away from the things that no longer serve you, even if it's hard, even if it's painful, because your future depends on it. You can't soar with all that weight pulling you down. You've got to be light, be free, be focused, and don't worry about what people will say. Some of them won't understand. They'll say you've changed, that you're leaving them behind. But remember, your purpose is bigger than their opinions. Your vision is clearer than their doubts. You've got to do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, this is your journey and no one else is going to walk it for you. So look at your life. Look at what you're carrying. Be honest with yourself. Is it helping you grow or is it holding you down? If it's holding you down, it's time to cut it. You've got places to go, heights to reach, and you can't get there with all that dead weight on your back. Let it go. We live in a world where everybody wants quick results, instant success, overnight fame, shortcuts to the top. But let me tell you something real, nothing worth having comes easy. Nothing. The grind, that's where the real work happens. The sweat, the long nights, the setbacks, the failures, that's where you separate yourself from the rest. You've got to understand, the grind isn't glamorous. It's not the highlight reel you see on social media. It's not the moments when everyone is cheering for you. No, the grind is lonely. It's those early mornings when no one is watching, those hours you put in after everyone else has gone home. It's the part of the process most people want to skip. But here's the thing, you can't skip the grind. You can't fast forward through the struggle. If you want success, if you want greatness, you've got to embrace it. The grind teaches you things success never will. It teaches you discipline, resilience, and patience. It forces you to grow in ways you never thought possible. When you embrace the grind, you stop looking for the easy way out. You stop expecting success to come knocking on your door. You realize that success is earned inch by inch, hour by hour, day by day. And you've got to love the process, not just the outcome. Everybody loves the outcome. Everybody loves the reward. But how many people love the work it takes to get there? How many people are willing to show up when they don't feel like it, when they're tired, when the results aren't showing up as fast as they want? That's the grind. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. Let me tell you something else, the grind will test you. It will push you to your limits. It'll make you question whether you're cut out for this. It'll make you wonder if it's all worth it. And most people, they give up. They throw in the towel when it gets hard, when it gets uncomfortable. But you've got to be different. You've got to embrace that discomfort. Because the grind isn't meant to be easy, it's meant to build you. When you embrace the grind, you stop waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right circumstances. You make things happen. You take control of your destiny. And here's the truth, the grind is where you find out what you're really made of. Not when things are going well, not when the applause is loud, but when it's tough, when you're doubting yourself, when it feels like no one believes in you. That's when you find your true strength. The grind isn't just about putting in the hours, it's about putting in the right kind of work. It's about being intentional, focused, and relentless in your pursuit of excellence. It's about improving every single day, even if it's just by a little bit. Because when you're in the grind, you understand that progress isn't always visible. Sometimes you're working hard and you don't see results right away. But that doesn't mean you're not getting better. It doesn't mean the work isn't paying off. You've got to trust the process, trust the grind. And here's the best part, when you've embraced the grind, when you've put in the work, no one can take that away from you. You earned it. You didn't cut corners. You didn't take the easy way out. You showed up every day. You stayed disciplined. And now the results are yours, not because of luck, not because of timing, but because you embraced the grind and became stronger because of it. So the next time you feel tired, the next time you feel like giving up, remember this greatness is forged in the grind. It's not about how fast you get there. It's about how much you're willing to put in, how much you're willing to sacrifice. Embrace the grind. It's shaping you, preparing you, molding you into the person you need to be to handle the success that's waiting for you. Keep pushing, because in the end, the grind always pays off. You can climb to the top of the mountain, but don't forget what got you there. That's the thing about success. It's not just about reaching your goals. It's about staying grounded when you get there. Too many people lose sight of that. They hit a certain level, get comfortable, and start believing their own hype. But the second you start thinking you've arrived, that you're untouchable, that's the moment you start slipping. Staying humble means remembering that no matter how much you've achieved, you're still a work in progress. It means understanding that success doesn't make you better than anyone else. It means knowing that there's always more to learn, more to do, more to become. You can be proud of what you've accomplished, don't get me wrong, but don't ever let it make you complacent. Pride should fuel your drive, not slow you down. Humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that the world doesn't owe you anything. Just because you've put in the work doesn't mean the world is going to stop challenging you. In fact, the higher you rise, the tougher the challenges get. And if you start thinking you're above it all, if you start thinking you've got nothing left to prove, that's when life will humble you real quick. Stay humble. Keep your feet on the ground. No matter how high you climb, remember where you came from, and remember there's always someone working just as hard, if not harder, trying to catch up to you. But being humble doesn't mean you're satisfied. No, you've got to stay hungry. Just because you've had a taste of success doesn't mean you stop chasing it. You keep pushing, you keep striving, you keep setting higher goals for yourself. The hunger, that's what drives you. That hunger is what separates the good from the great. It's easy to get comfortable once you've made it, once you've gotten a taste of success, but the truly great, they never stop being hungry. They're always looking for the next challenge, the next mountain to climb. Think about it, every champion, every legend, every person you look up to, they didn't stop once they got their first victory. They didn't kick back and say, I've done enough. No, they kept pushing. They kept grinding like they were still at the bottom because they knew that hunger is what keeps you sharp. It keeps you focused, it keeps you ahead of the pack. Staying hungry means you don't let success soften you. It means you approach every day, every task like you've still got something to prove. Because you do. You've got to prove to yourself that you can keep getting better, keep growing, keep evolving. Success isn't a finish line. It's a stepping stone. It's a marker that says, okay, I've done this, now what's next? There's no room for complacency when you stay hungry. Complacency is the enemy of greatness. The second you get comfortable, the second you think you've made it, you stop pushing yourself, you stop striving to be better, and that's when you start falling behind. Staying hungry keeps that fire burning inside of you. It keeps you on edge, keeps you from settling for anything less than your best. It makes you relentless. But staying hungry doesn't mean you're never satisfied with your progress. It means you celebrate your wins, you acknowledge how far you've come, but you don't let that stop you from wanting more. You don't let that stop you from waking up every day with the same drive, the same determination, the same work ethic that got you started in the first place. You stay hungry because you know that there's always more out there for you to achieve, always more ways to improve. And here's the thing, when you stay humble and stay hungry, you create a balance that keeps you grounded, but also keeps you striving. Humility keeps your ego in check, while hunger keeps your ambition alive. You respect the journey, but you're never satisfied with where you are. You're always looking for the next opportunity to grow, to learn, to get better. So don't let success fool you into thinking you've arrived. Stay humble enough to know that there's always room for improvement, always another level to reach. And stay hungry enough to chase it down like you haven't already tasted success. Because that's how you keep growing. That's how you keep winning. Stay humble, stay hungry, and never stop climbing. Now, let me tell you this, the road to fixing yourself is not a straight path. It's full of twists, turns, and obstacles. But remember, you're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with the person you were yesterday. Every day is another chance to be better. Fix yourself, because the world doesn't need more excuses, more blame, or more people sitting on the sidelines. The world needs you at your best. Thank you.